and that's the. And he also sparkles in the sun. He doesn't get hurt by sunlight. He just sparkles.
Okay.
Like he just full on glitters. It's
what
like
mode do you want to play?
Ford, like, anything. And
okay.
and when Bella's like, "You're a vampire, aren't you?" Is what he does is he takes off his shirt and he stands in the sun and he's like, "Yeah." He just takes off his shirt and then he's like, "Yeah." And then my favorite part is soon after that, Bella hops on his back and and you know what he says? He says, "You ready, spider monkey?" And then he climbs up a tree like a squirrel. Like with her on his back, and he climbs up a tree at supersonic speeds like a squirrel. There's like the whole family of vampires, right? But the deal with that is that they're not actually related, they were just all are vampires. And it's a good thing that they're not all related, because they also all date each other. And at first I was very confused. But they're not related, they're just, it's only kinda weird, okay? Yeah, vampires are weird, I don't know. They also all have a superpower. Edward can read minds. Yeah, except Bella, because she's special and has powers.
She's special for not having anything.
No, she has a power, that's the thing. Even though she's not a vampire, yeah.
What? What? Hey, that's not...
What?
But why?
Well, because apparently she's destined to be a vampire, some Italian so.
That explains it.
Yeah, and so, but her power is that she's resistant to all the vampires' powers, so she's not affected by them. And so Edward can't read her mind, and the creepy Italian guy can't, like, make her feel extreme pain. Yeah, I'll get to that. We get there when we get there!
Isn't there a tank right outside? Hold on, I'll take care of this.
I missed the start of the movie, but what I heard is that so Edward just kind of shows up in all the other Cullens, that's their family, their last name. And so all the Cullens show up and they go to the school, and so Edward's 17. And so Bella's like, "I exist." And then Edward's like, yeah. And then and because he's so fast, he just shows up in her room while she sleeps. And then he just watches her, because apparently, and this is exactly what they said in the movie, is that her smell is particularly intriguing to vampires. Now, my favorite part of that is that it's her smell. So she's like, because she has a power, she's special. And so, but when vampires in Twilight taste human blood, and when they see it and smell it or whatever, they kind of go crazy, but the Cullens are vegetarians. And by vegetarian, they only eat animal blood.
What? That's not what vegetarian
And so they have yellow eyes, that's how you can tell they're vegetarians.
Oh, obviously all vegetarians have yellow eyes. That's how they identify each other.
They're not technically vegetarian. They're vegetarian in terms of, like, they're as vegetarian.
They're vegetarian on break.
Sure. Yeah, I guess.
Hold on, let me mark A for defense.
Right, so then Bella is like, I kind of like this guy. And so Bella's for some reason into it, and then yeah. And then eventually she figures out he's a vampire, because this guy Jacob is like, vampires and werewolves don't get along. And the Cullens don't come over here because of and then Bella's like, I'm gonna go read a book about that.
Where'd she get
Jacob's kind of a jerk. And she goes to a library and reads about vampires.
Oh yeah, because they have the vampire freaking encyclopedia in the library.
Yep, they do. They just have a book about the war between vampires and werewolves.
Speaking of vampires,
important in the second.
There's a freaking Netflix original about vampires that I watched with my grandpa really wanted to see it, so he was like, we were like, okay, let's watch Wrath of Man. Now it just came out on Netflix. It has like Jason Statham and stuff, and it looks cool. And then he was like, oh, you want to see Blood Red Sky, the movie where there's terrorists and vampires on the plane? And then we were like, no, but yes.
That's such a good way to hook someone. There's terrorists and vampires on a plane.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd watch that. But, then he takes her to his house, and it's all fancy and in the woods. It's like a modern house and it's in the woods. Okay, so then you meet the other Cullens, and one of them, he's like a new vampire. And
The Cullens is a culinary expert?
Actually, they don't eat. They only drink blood, right? But they have a full kitchen not full of food. They bought the food because Bella was coming, but full of like kitchen utensils, which feels like a waste of money.
Yeah.
Like they had like a full block of knives, pots, and pans. Like what? I don't see the purpose. Oh, and my favorite, actually, the most horrible, the most cringy line was not the spider monkey line somehow. It was, and I'm not making this line. It's a direct quote. Just I knew it's not correct because it sounds like a joke. When it's first when Edward is first confirmed to be a vampire, he says, you know, you're special, you smell, vampires are attracted to you for some reason. You're like my own personal brand of heroin.
That's not something I'd like to be called.
Pickup line. Being called heroin, I don't think is gonna work.
I think they got another tank. Cause that's not the anti-air one doing that. Oh, there's the anti-air. Yeah. Yeah, these are like freaking tinfoil thick walls.
Oh, we might not be fine.
No, maybe if we just back up a little bit, because he shot out front, so yeah. Oh!
Yeah, we're good.
Yeah, we're good. Okay, I'm a bit concerned now.
Oh, and so there's evil vampires who aren't vegetarians, and they show up when the vampires are playing baseball. I know, they play supersonic baseball because they're all super fast and strong, so they throw the ball at like Mach speed. And then Edward has to go get the ball, and then they're like, and then Bella's like, oh no, he won't get the ball, that's gotta be a home run. And then they say, no, Edward's fast. And that's the only payoff and reason for the scene to exist, is that they say that Edward is fast. And so Edward goes and grabs the ball, but before he grabs the ball, the evil vampire, the evil Jamaican man vampire is like, oh no! Oh no!
Okay, it's good.
Oh, that's you. Okay, yeah. That is
yes, sorry. I just saw the anti-tank grenade fly right over our heads. Okay. Okay, that's also an ally. We're good. Okay, yeah. He'll watch our. Okay, he's going out.
I don't think this house is gonna last. I feel like the wall's gonna explode soon.
I mean, the ceiling's already gone.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, I realized it when I fell through the ceiling after I tried to climb on top of the building.
You fell through the ceiling. Like, they're just shooting this place. Why don't they just walk in?
I don't know. They're lazy. There we go. They're finally getting inventive.
Oh, I took damage.
They're throwing grenades in here. I'm gonna run out.
Oh my god, that's a lot of grenades.
I ran into the grenade. Oh, they're going in.
Okay, we died. Whoops. We lasted so long in there.
Okay.
And then she's in like a ballet place with a bunch of mirrors, and she's like, ah.
What?
And then Edward punches him, but Edward is fast, so he got there before the other vampires. And things are looking bad, and then the other vampires show up, but then Bella gets bitten by the evil vampire, and she's like,
I guess you would.
That goes on for a while.
Oh.
And then Edward sucks the venom out of her arm.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and then he stops sucking the blood out of her arm, but he almost doesn't, because otherwise he would have killed her. And so, yeah.
Oh.
That's the first movie. Oh, and then Edward is like, adios. And then she's like, no, and then he's like, adios.
They made more movies.
People are wondering why we all look the exact same age after 10 years. Because they don't age.
Right.
And so then they leave to Alaska.
Oh.
That is all. That is the entire first movie. And then Jacob is there, and Jacob is a jerk, and he's also a werewolf, and he's also shirtless for 90% of the movie.
Right.
You know, usual.
Yeah.
So Jacob is a jerk. And then it's like a love triangle, which shouldn't even exist because he's such a jerk. Why replies to Steve with a question. At least Edward is pasty, but at least he cared for her. Yeah, and then they build a motorcycle together. And Bella keeps like doing very dangerous things because she keeps having visions of Edward, and now I'm not sure why. Because I didn't finish the movie. Oh yeah, and then Jacob picks up the phone. It's Edward. And because she sees another one of the vampires, and she's like, oh my god, I missed you, what happened? And then Edward calls. And then Jacob picks up the phone, and the only thing he says is, she died, and then hangs up. and then Bella's like, who was that? And he's like, oh, it's Edward. And then Jacob,
why'd you say that name?
And then she's like, what did he say? What did he say? He says, oh, I'm gonna go talk to the Italian vampires. So that, and then kill myself. And then it's like, what? And then she freaked out because she just... And he was trying to see if Bella was there to see if it was worth living because Edward missed her so much. And then Jacob just said she died. And then he was like, I'm gonna go kill myself with some Italians. And so then they drive to Italy, I think, or maybe they...
Weren't they in Alaska?
Yes. Well, actually, they were in, like, Phoenix, in America. But the other vampires were in Alaska.
That's still a bit of a drive.
Yes, I don't know, man. And so, what happens, and then she goes through the town, everyone's wearing red, and I think that they don't like vampires. I kind of zoned out for this part. And then Edward took his shirt off, and then he was going to walk into the sun so he sparkled. And so then they would kill him, but then Bella hugged him and was like, no, don't. And then he was like, okay. And then I got shot by a bunch of people in World War II. And so, yeah, this is right near the end of the movie. Then they go and see the Italians, and they're like the most powerful and ancient vampires. And then they're like, yes. And, yeah, and Bella is immune to their powers, and then I went to go play cards, and I don't know what happened after that. They weren't gonna kill Edward. Edward's like, kill me, and then they were like, no, the powers are strong. And then I went to go play cards, and I lost, but I almost won.
Oh, this wasn't on the plane?
No, I watched this at my grandparents' house.
Alright.
Yeah, my aunt
both
walked
watch
in
vampire
one
movies
time.
at their grandpa's house.
My aunt walked in and just was like, and sat down for a little bit and asked like 2 questions, and then she was like, wow, this sucks, and we walked away. And then my uncle